Hi everybody, this is the website boy from the websiteboy.com. You can Google it if you want. Anyways, on the last tutorial we were talking about random functions, and if you want to watch that tutorial you can go back on the playlist and watch it, or you can watch it on my website without restrictions. Anyways, um, today we're going to be talking about how, sometimes JavaScript, actually everything that it takes from, let's say you make a function that takes the user inputs, it actually brings that value in the string. So we need to actually, JavaScript does not convert it automatically to an integer. Sometimes we want to do calculation based on the user input, and we can't do it unless we convert it. So we need to convert strings to integers and decimals. All right, so let's say, for example, let's just go ahead and do a save as here, and let's do a, so we're going to be talking about converting strings to integers and decimals. All right, so let's just say converting strings. All right, let's just name it like that. And if you don't have this, you can see here I have all these tutorials here. This is in my website. You can find the exercise files. The link is in the bottom of this video if you want. For some of this, most of this have the exercise files in the website. If not, leave a comment on my website. If you have any questions, you can always ask me on the websiteboy.com. Ask question, ask hyphen question. Anyways, so let's say, for example, I get the user input. So let's say I have user input here. Let's make a variable and call it user input. So I have a function here called prompt that's going to give me the user's input. It's going to pop bots on the screen asking the user to enter a number. Enter a number. Right? So when the user enters a number, and we did this on the last tutorials, I believe, right here on the 9 tutorial of the JavaScript series. If when the user enters a number, we're gonna save that number in a variable called user input. Let's just call it user number input. All right. So we have that, and if just to prove that we do that, we have that. We're just gonna alert this out. Let's just open this in the browser, and we see that. Let's say I enter 20, and I get back 20. But now what JavaScript did is my number. It is a string right now. It is a string. It's not a full number, so I cannot do calculations. So for example, if I wanted to do a calculations, and let's say I have a number here called variable, let's call number 10. Let's assign this variable to a 10, and let's say I want to go ahead and create another variable and say new calculation, new cal, and I want to add number to user input. Look what happens if I alert out new cal, right? That variable, if I alert out, watch this. It doesn't do the calculation. It actually concatenates the number 10 and the 20, because it makes this number and this string right here together, because this is a concatenation symbol right now. All right, because strings takes over integers. Now, if what I need to do is actually convert the string that comes from this function here, because it's always going to come as a string, convert it to an integer or a decimal, right? So how do we do that? All right. Now, don't get me wrong. You can actually do other things with it. Let's say, for example, you put a minus symbol here, and I refresh here. Let me just refresh and I'll show you right now. JavaScript tries to help you out too. So for example, I type 100 and I click enter, I get a minus 90. So JavaScript was able to actually do the calculation with the minus symbol, but it doesn't do it with the plus symbol, because it's a concatenation symbol also in JavaScript. So it cannot distinguish between the two. All right. So I can even do multiplication also. So it just doesn't do the addition. 200, and it does 2000. You see, 200 times 10 is 2000. So it does the multiplication and division, all that, except the addition. So in order for you to do addition, it's better to always, if you're using numbers, to always kind of use a parse int function. All right, and the way we use a parse int function, we can even use it right here. Parsed int right? Right here. And then we can put this whole thing in there. This is a function right there, and we can just put the whole thing in there. Boom. And then we can just go ahead and do the plus right here and refresh. Let's enter a number, 110. Now it does a calculation. This function is going to convert anything that I put in here to an integer, and it says it right here. It's going to parse it into an integer. All right, so you can use that like this. You can go ahead, let me just do this, take the parse in out. It's And we can also assign it to a new variable, right? We can do, I don't know, new number or something. So we can use new number, and we can do a parse int here, parse int, and then we can just do the parse int right here. We can use this. We can go the long way and do that and convert it, and then use that number to do the calculation below if we wanted to. But this is too much. I prefer to do the parse int and wrap everything on in there in the parse int function. All right, so you can do this newest number, whatever. I'm just, don't worry about the spelling. And then we can do the new number plus whatever number, and then just spell this out right here, newest number. We can just go ahead and say 100 and not a number, right? With newest number, I made a mistake here somewhere. Newest number, parse int, user input. I'm using the same, oh, right here is user input, and then right here, and then we enter this, and then we say this. You see that? So actually it's concatenating 110 and still doing concatenation is not. So this is the new number right here. I was doing it right. I was doing the new number right here, new number. There we go. If it confused me a little bit, it can confuse you, so don't feel bad. Right? So as you can see here, we are doing it the long way right now. Using a different variable here and doing the parse int. When all we had to do was use the parse int up here and forget about everything else. We can just eliminate all this and do parse int right here, and then wrap everything in that function right here. Say this, and boom, done. And that's all. That's the way I prefer to do it. That way I don't have to write all those variables down. All right, so that's what you need to do when you get user input to make calculations. Sometimes we need to do that. So that's how we convert strings to integers and decimals. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. And I try not to edit the videos and see, so you guys can see my mistakes and see how I kind of debug my code, so that way you can also use my same methods. Hope that was helpful to you, and if it was, favor the video, like it, put it on YouTube, on Facebook or Twitter. Anyway, thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video.